How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we've got another of our spoiler videos, well not spoilers, but more reveals, because they're not really spoilers, it's revealed over time, of the new set for Star Wars Unlimited being Set 3 Twilight of the Republic. So, I have waited a little bit because we don't get too many each week to kind of go with a decent sized video, or like a proper video of it, it's just like a couple, so I left it for a little bit, and also because I forgot what was going on a bit, because don't see too many of them. Like we didn't have it comes out slowly because we still got the rest of this month really to see the rest of the set, and then we get it as early as next month from November, and we're quite early still into almost halfway through the month, and we've got a load of them now. We've got a load of Never leaders. I think we're missing just 4 leaders. I think, and don't quote me on that. I think we are missing just 4 leaders, and a fair few cards in the set, but then we're almost done with this. So just a look to see what we've got in the last few weeks. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe, because it keeps you updated with my videos as and when they drop. And also, by clicking the notification bell, you get alerts when my videos do drop, so you can watch them there then, or at a time that suits you best. So, let's get into it and start with the leaders, shall we? So, starting off with Newt Gunray, we have as the first, I think currently the only dark side Vigilance leader, so the blue-black leader, and he, because remember this set is all focused around some of the prequels and the Clone Wars, so it focuses on the second film, third film, and the Clone Wars series. So that's not Phantom Menace, it's the Attack of the Clones. I can't remember what the third one's called. But then yeah, the Clone Wars stuff around that area, not really focusing too much on the first film, just from the numbered film. Episode 1 is more Episode 2, 3, and the Clone Wars focus on. So we got Newt Gunray. He is one of the leaders, and he is a deploy 6 leader. He comes down with 2-8, and he's got it's all about getting out droid tokens, because with this set he gets the new introduction of 2 new keywords, being exploit for the dark side and coordinate with the light side. And also it brings in new kinds of tokens, being battle droid and clone tokens. So you got the clone tokens for the good side, and you got the battle droid tokens for the dark side. So Newt Gunray, Vindictive Viceroy. His effect, when he's on the leader area, is action by tapping himself. If the 2 or more friendly units were defeated this phase, you get to create a battle droid token. So that's quite nice, and exploit's all about defeating your own stuff, because what exploit wants to do is, depending on the number it is, because it's one of those ones like raid and stuff that has a number with it, and you can, depending on the number with it, you can use exploit by defeating any number of units at a number that's on the exploit. So you've got exploit when you can defeat one of your units, and what that allows you to do is make the card you're about to play cheaper by 2 for each card you defeat. So if you've got exploit 1, you can defeat 1 unit and make it cost 2 less, and then bring it in. So if you can do this, normally use exploit 2, you can make use of this effect and then get back a battle droid token, and battle droid tokens are very useful for exploit, being able to bring in things a little bit cheaper than they actually are. But one thing you'll find with exploit is that most of the units is on, most of the cards is on, inherently on, their stats look to be designed, stats look to be for the cost you can get them as minimum. So you've got some things that cost 8 that have the stats for saying of a 4 cost. If Q2 can be exploited down, otherwise you're bringing out 8 cost stats on 4 cost seems quite strong. So they've kind of made it so the stats are a little weaker than in the normal cost of that card, but because they exploit, they can make it out cheaper. And then he's got that action when he's on the leader area, but when he's deployed, now he doesn't have to worry about defeating units and all that stuff and tapping. He can just attack and create a battle droid token, so he can just swing, make a battle droid token, and he's quite cool, because he's got 2 power and 8 health, so a good amount of health. So say Cad Bane stats that he isn't doing any more damage on attack, he hasn't got raid 2, but he is making a battle droid token to help abuse and use exploit. That's pretty cool there. So that's the one of the blue leaders, and the only one for the dark side on blue we've got so far, so that's a pretty cool one. And then we've got the light side of blue. So we've got the first one, we've already seen Obi-Wan, and we got the other one being Yoda. So we kind of had a guess, could easily guess that Yoda's going to be in there, depending where it's going to be. It could have been green, because he's more of a commanding leader, he's the leader of the Jedi. But then Vigilance does quite fit quite well with Yoda, because he is very quite very passive. Like he's not very like he will make the decision if he wants to, but he's not really like aggressive, or he's not like too cunning. Like he does have a plan, but he's not cunning, and he's not aggressive. So Vigilance kind of makes sense, and we've kind of seen what we already got the other command leader. No, it wasn't in there. We got Yoda, so he's a like high deploy leader, so he's one of the higher ones to deploy. It comes down at 7 resources, which is the earliest turn 6, unless you ramp. And he is actually very, very good, and he's one of the rare leaders as well. So Yoda, Sensing Darkness, his effect when in the leader area is an action by tapping himself, just like it was with Newt. And if a unit left played his face, it could be you or your opponent, then you get to draw a card, and then put a card from your hand on either the top or bottom of your deck. So it's a nice little way to kind of filter for your deck, to kind of draw a brand new card, and then put something you don't want in your hand or you don't really need at the top or bottom of your deck, and put it in the top of your deck helps benefit his effect when deployed, because he's got a when deployed effect when he is deployed. And how it reads, well, how I first read it, thought it was just any card in the deck, but no, it has to be like when it says discard a card from your deck, it means the top card of your deck, not pick a card from your deck and send it. So luckily his effect in the leader area allows us to set up now. But when he is deployed, he deploys once again at 7 resources at 4 and 9, which is really good stats, very good bulk, almost like Chewbacca level almost, and good 4 power, which is pretty nice. Comes with Restore 2 as well, so when he does swing, you're healing 2 from your base, which is pretty good. It's nice to see Restore on a leader. The only other leader we've got that we can start to see it on is Ray for blue. But his effect is when deployed, you may discard a card from your deck, and if you do, you defeat any enemy non-leader unit that costs the same as or less than discard a card. So you can't take out leaders with it. That'd be too strong, like most effects that don't affect leaders. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't really affect leaders when it's like this strong. But this allows you to potentially set up any card on the top of your deck if you use this effect one leader area, and then discard it when you deploy it, then basically just kill something at the same cost or less. You can potentially put like an 8 cost Chewbacca from your hands up your deck after using Yoda's skill, and then deploy and kill something that costs 8 or less, which is very, very powerful, very, very good. A very nice effect that just come down and take out something. Nice removal there. And then very solid stats at 4-9. And you can put that General's Blade or General Lightsaber on to make it even stronger, make it then up to 7, 12, which is pretty strong. So I look forward to trying out Yoda. I do like my blue heroic leaders, so I'm going to give that a try 100% in the next set. So that is the blue leaders. Then I think we've got 2 of each color in for today as well. So we go on to the green ones. We've got Wat Tambor being one of the dark side, or the ever dark side that goes along with Count Dooku. So you know both of the, I think we know all the green leaders now. And the other dark side green one we've got is Wat Tambor. So this is the Techno. Was it? Techno Union Foreman. So he's one of the separatists, like partnered up with Dooku to kind of take down the Republic. And he's pretty cool. He's all about boosting every unit. So he's got the same in both areas, which is if a friendly unit was defeated this phase, you give another unit. Well, yeah, you give a unit plus 2/2 power, or 2/2 to the stats for this phase. So 2 power and 2 health. And the only difference in the text, well, only different. It's the same thing on both sides, but the only difference is when it's in the lead area, it has a tap to use it, and when he's in the when he's deployed, he has to tap to do it, but also give it to another unit. So it's like neither effect can give it to itself, because you can't give it to yourself in the lead area, and when he's on board, you have to get to another unit. Do you remember that another kind of text? Also, he's a unit that comes down quite early as well, 5 resources, so as early as turn 4. If you don't ramp, and he also comes down with pretty nice stats at 3/5. You've got similar things to add to the hand, solo leader and things like that. So it's pretty nice there, quite easy to deploy, and also a rare leader as well. It's pretty nice, so you can basically, if a friendly unit is defeated, you can just boost up something else for the turn, which is pretty nice, especially if you like ram stuff or something that's taken out before, you can boost up something else. So pretty nice there. Not sure how amazing that is, but it is pretty nice to kind of boost up to kind of be more aggressive and power something up to be a little bit bigger for that turn. And then the evergreen leader we got is Captain Rex. Captain Rex makes his appearance as a leader as well, which is really cool. And he's going to be, he's probably one of the best leaders to kind of make use of Coordinate, because if you don't know what Coordinate, because I've kind of explained what Exploit is. Coordinate is a nuclear skill for the light side of the game, and it's all about having at least 3 or more units in play to have an effect trigger. So you can have these effects on There's keyword on effects, and also like you get for, I can't remember whatever unit, whatever kind of thing wanted that. I can't remember exactly what one, like whatever keyword is like this, but it's like a condition keyword where you need to have a certain amount of like 3 or more units on board to have kind of have that effect live. And Captain Rex is a perfect one to get that out because he's got a nice little when deployed create a clone trooper token, so automatically creates a clone trooper token, and he's got a focus on the clones as well. So he is just like what Tambor. He is a unit that comes down and it's earliest turn 5 resources, so it's earliest turn 4. A little bit weaker than Wat Tambor, which is weird. Like he's a little bit weaker at 2/6 when he deploys, where Wat Tambor isn't anything that attacks or anything. It's a 3/6. It's quite odd. But yeah, it comes out of 2/6 once you hit 5 or more resources, and he's all about making clones because Captain Rex fighting for his brothers. When he's in the leader area, his action is by paying 2 and tapping, which kind of seems a bit expensive. And if a friendly unit attack this phase, you're not getting this on your first turn. Put in your second turn once you can start getting this off. And if a friendly unit attacks this phase, you create a clone trooper token. And remember, clone troopers are token units that have their stats are 2/2. So you basically pay 2, create a 2/2 token, which is not too bad. Gets you tokens without using cards in your hands. That's actually quite nice, and gets you these cheap units on board as well. And then when he's deployed, like I said, he's got when deployed create a clone trooper token. So as soon as he deploys, he comes down himself. Creates a clone trooper token, so then coordinate is live if you've got another unit in play, which would normally be a unit with the coordinate skill. And while he's out as well, he's got like a passive effect, which each ever clone trooper gets extra +1 to their health. So it means all your clone trooper tokens, or each of your troopers, which all the clones, I think all the clones are, or most of the clones are. Well, all the clones from the Clone Wars are troopers, I think, and they get extra 2 health. So that means any token you make is then a 2/3 while Captain Rex is on board. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. So I'm looking forward to trying this out because I do like the clones and kind of didn't like it when we had Hunter, but Hunter the leader is not that great. It's quite disappointing for like they could have done something similar to like Hero with it. Kind of had its band batch as a trait and kind of that synergy together, but they're not that great and they're all like split up. So and they require a unit that has to stay in play just to be able to function, which isn't great. So Captain Rex hopefully gonna give you a nice clone deck to play. Moving on to the red ones, so we got some of the red ones. We got a one of the other red Villainy leader is Pre-Vizsla. So I can't remember if I don't think he's the ancient one. I think he's the one. If I remember, I've seen some of the series. I've seen most of the series, but I can't remember. I think he's I think he's one from the Clone Wars. They're trying to take over or like control. Like they have to fight to get back Sabine, not Sabine. I can't remember. Like I think he's the one who like takes over and they have to like dethrone him to basically put someone else in play, or works with Mole and then Mole takes him out. I can't remember exactly who he is, but then again, it got Pre-Vizsla, and he's quite an odd one because his effect in the leader area is all around drawing, but doesn't count the cards you draw. Because let's just go over the effect. So he's another one that comes down as early as 5 resources, so as early as turn 4, and he's Pre-Vizsla, pursuing the throne. When he's in the leader area, he's got an action where you pay 1 and tap him to deal damage to a unit equal to the number of cards you've drawn this phase. But it specifically says in brackets this doesn't include cards drawn in the regroup phase, because that can be busted. If it counted just the cards you draw at the start of your turn, you basically paid 1 resource and tap him to do 2 damage to a unit every turn, which would be insane. But no, they've made it so the cards you draw during the regroup phase don't count. And there aren't many cards that allow you to draw outside of the draw phase. So it's gonna be interesting to see what we actually get to kind of make this actually useful, because it seems like an ability similar to Padme, which isn't going to be great depending what we've got. But then, unless we've got like a decent amount of draw, you're not going to be getting much damage from that, especially when you're paying 1 for it. It's not going to be great. But then when he's deployed, it comes down as a 4/6, so it's pretty good stats, 4/6, and he's got passive effects depending on the number of cards you have in hand. So while you have 3 or more cards in your hand, he gains Saboteur, meaning you can ignore Sentinel, and when he attacks a unit, you can defeat all their shields on him. And then when you've got 6 or more cards in your hand, he gets extra 2 power, so it becomes a 6/6 where you've got 6 cards in your hand. 6/6, kind of like devilish there, but not too bad. It's just his front side just seems pretty lackluster. But hopefully there's some way to kind of make use of it a good amount. But then, because drawing isn't that big in the game, and especially early in the turns, if you're normally trying to draw, you're not really establishing anything on board, which is not the greatest. So be interesting to see what we get, but it doesn't seem that great. Well, in the lead area wise at the moment. And in the other side, we've got the first heroic of the red units. I think we haven't got the other one. It could be Anakin. Hopefully it's Anakin. That'd be cool. But we've got Mace Windu as the ever red heroic leader, and it's just like Yoda. He's another one that comes down quite late at 7 resources, and comes down with slightly different stats, being a 5/8 when he's deployed as well. So we've got Mace Windu. He has the action ability in the leader area, which is action. Well, yeah, pay 1 and tap him to deal 1 damage to a damaged enemy unit. Then, if it has 5 or more damage on it, you deal 1 damage to it. So it's all about dealing damage to damaged units, which is kind of Red's forte. It's all about throwing out damage willy-nilly. And he's also a rare leader as well, so pretty nice rare leaders. And yeah, like if it's got 5 or more damage on, so it's got a lot of damage on, you can do an extra damage to it. So you can kind of do more damage if they're heavily damaged, which is quite cool. So you got some nice ties with some of the cards in red to just throw out some damage and use this as a way to finish off and potentially do 2 damage instead of just 1. And he's got just like Yoda, he's not got much. He's just not much when he deploys. Just he's got when deploy, but doesn't do anything else than that. And it's when deploys, just deal 2 damage to each damaged enemy unit. So if you've got something like bombing run, you can potentially do damage to everything in the ground arena and deploy him and do an extra 2 damage. So you can do 5 damage overall to the whole board in Mace Windu, which is cool. And it doesn't just do there's only damage enemy units, so you can, while bombing run with damage yours, you can do an extra 2 damage to all theirs. And it's all arenas, not just in the ground arena. It's just when deployed, deals 2 damage to each damaged enemy unit. So it's all areas, which is quite nice. Pretty solid stats as well, which is quite cool. And it's just very late deploy. So I have to see like some of these deploy, like even Vader, what it does still see play. Doesn't see as much play after since the first set. And especially since you got other leaders like Bosk and stuff in the same arena, which can do much, because this has still got things like Han and Sabine in the same kind of aspects. So it'd be interesting to see, but I will be trying out all the Jedi leaders because I do like my Jedi. So that's it. Now we move on to the Cunning leaders. Well, we got first Jango Fett. So Jango Fett, kind of think the leader we've been speculated being on the way as early as set 1 because of the mention on Fett's Fire Spray being a Jango or Boba Fett leader. Well, in the leader area, or thing, which doesn't kind of like, well, doesn't tell us there is going to be a leader, but like speculates it could be, and anything could be a leader. If you've got Padme leader and stuff like that, then we can get almost any leader. Like waiting for a Jar Jar Binks one, being like a Gungan focus one, that'd be cool. But yeah, we've got Jango Fett, and he is a cunning, just like him, set 1 Boba. He's also cunning and villainy, and he's all about dealing damage to units and tapping them. Because he also, once again, in every unit deploys the 5 or more resources. Comes down as a 3/7 as well, which is pretty good stats. He's only the common leader, so he's not the rare one. That is left to whatever they ever also Cunning Villainy leader is, because we haven't seen that yet. But his effect is when a friendly unit deals damage to an enemy unit on the leader side, you may exhaust this leader, and if you do, exhaust that enemy unit. So if a unit deals damage to an enemy unit, you can exhaust it or tap this to tap them. And the nice thing this pairs with really well is Overwhelming Barrage, because it makes that unit do its power as damage to among cards on the board or units on the board. And a good combination with that is with Jango Fett, because as Fett when he deployed is now when a friendly unit deals damage to an enemy unit, you can exhaust that unit. So you can only do it once in the lead area, but you can do it multiple times when he's deployed. And when he's deployed, yeah, just chuck Overwhelming Barrage on him, make him a 5/9, throw a bit like 1 each damage on a load of units your opponent controls, and then tap them all, which is really cool. So a really nice unit, and also it gives you access to, because it's in the same color, the Fett's Fire Spray is a good unit to have it, so he's got benefits there. and it won't have the Boba Fett's armor because it's not Fett's armor, it's Boba Fett's armor, not Jango Fett's armor. So I'm gonna put that, but that'd be a bit too much if you had that as well. So pretty good yellow leader. Then last leader we've got for this for lot, we've got Quinlan Voss. I have no idea who this is. I think he is in the Clone Wars. I think someone did tell me, but I still don't remember who this is or don't remember seeing him. But he's a pretty interesting one. So he's sticking the landing, and he's once again a never leader that deploys as early as 5 or more resources. Comes down also just like the Jango Fett as a free 7. And he's all about doing damage when you play units, because the condition for both sides is when you play a unit, it's not about dealing damage, but what is in the area is you may exhaust this leader as a cost, like most of the time as may exhaust this unit, not a cost, but part of the effect if you want to trigger it. And if you do deal 1 damage to an enemy unit, it costs the same as the played unit. So you play a 2 cost, you can do damage for 2 cost in when you play it, like your opponent has. And then when he's deployed, when you play a unit, that's the cost. Or in the condition, you may deal 1 damage to an enemy unit that costs the same as or less than the played unit. So there are slightly differences where it's just for every unit you play when it's deployed, where it's just the first one you play, just one you play because you have to exhaust him, can't do it again after that because you get exhausted the second time, which you exhaust it once to do 1 damage. And when he's in the lead area, he's only 2 units that are the same cost as what you played. Whereas when the leader area is any unit that costs the same as or less than it. So greater range when he's deployed, which makes sense, but then more restrictive when he is in a leader area, which is cool. So pretty nice. Like pinging damage is a very cool effect, and also he's a never force Jedi, and in yellow as well. So you've got one. There is a Jedi leader in every aspect apart from green, which is cool. And you got the General's Blade, so it means that there's no leader you have to play green with any of these ones to kind of use General's Blade, which is a very good card as well. And green is a very good aspect to put with any other aspect combination as well, especially for yellow. Pretty good there, especially for red and also for blue. So pretty nice ones because it gives you the ramp, like if you want to play Yoda or Mace Windu early, and even then General's Blade. Earliest turn 4, you deploy him, check the General's Blade on to make him a 6/10, and now he's swinging and making whatever unit you play next cost 2 less, which means you can play out things to then trigger his effect that then deal damage to you. And I think you get to choose the damage because it just says deal 1 damage to an enemy unit, so you get to choose the ping, which is pretty cool. So the more you play things, the more you ping out damage, which would be very good with red as well. So it'll be interesting to try out. Right, so that's the leaders. Let's go and check out some of the bases we got. So we got the ever rare base as well. So we saw the first 2 rare bases being the green and the yellow, with like the green one making it so you can create 2 battle droid tokens when you deploy your leader, while the yellow one having the effect to boost up your leader's attack by 1 when basically means each leader you control gains extra 1 power. And we got the other 2, we got the blue and the red, and they kind of also have the same kind of like differences in power or like health and effects. Whereas Pal City is essentially the opposite to the yellow one, whereas the yellow one was a 26 health base that made it so each leader you control gets 1 extra 1 power for the just each leader unit you control gets extra 1 power. Whereas Pal City, same thing, same stats, 26, but each leader unit you control gets extra 1 health. So the more defensive one, whereas the yellow one was a more aggressive one. And then it seems to be the green one, sorry, it's the only one that has like the lowest health being 24, whereas the red one is a never 25 health base, but it's got the effect when you deploy a leader, you draw a card. So a way to draw, which is quite nice. And that could actually be very helpful because like drawing that extra card could be very useful, just having more options. And it's never one that doesn't require action to play. It's just when you do something. So when you deploy your leader, you trigger this to draw a card. It's not like the ever rare bases where you have to like use an action to use them. It's just they trigger when you do things, which is cool. So it'd be interesting to see. Like it does seem like they're more. These ones are more. Well, these bases apart from the green one's more to like help with the dark side for their exploit, but the rest of them seem to be more of Twin Suns leaders, not leaders bases, which kind of makes sense because you got multiple leaders, you got 2 leaders in that one rather than, so it makes sense with the yellow and blue one because they're more focused on You got more leaders, so you can kind of make more use of those. And the red ones just seems like a pretty nice one just to draw a card if you want to go red with it, because the free damage could be very useful, especially what red wants to do. Trying to draw an extra card could be handy in such situations as well. And with the same amount of health, kind of doesn't give you a negative as well, and you don't have to take an action to do it. Just when you deploy leader, draw a card. And we got the other ones. The only other base we've seen apart from that is the ones in the starter deck, and it's the two green ones we get, which is Lair of Grievous and Tapoka City. I think it's Tapoka, not Tapoka. I think it's Tapoka City in Camino, and then Lair of Grievous in Fasek. So just like we've had in every set, 30 health thinner the bases means these might be the only two of the D2 green ones. We just have to see the two, and this doesn't matter with the rest because just the art on them or the location. We don't really have anything that kind of mixes or does anything with the name of the base or the trait on the base, like the location, which we might maybe get something in the future, but that'd be cool. But that's all the bases we've seen. Seen the starter bases and the last two rare bases. Now we're just gonna go in the units and start off with Vigilance. So for the Vigilance cards, is what we've got. We got the dark side ones. We've got Rune. Rune Hako. We've got General Grievous, and we got Morgan Elsbeth. So we got General Grievous as a legendary as well. Pretty nice legendary. A free cost 4/4 is pretty good. Very good stats. But he's all about lightsabers, which is quite interesting. Well, it makes sense with the character, but yeah, it can be interesting because with lightsabers all split out, we have more as well, but they are kind of like spread out in different aspects and stuff. So we'll start off with Rune. He has a 2-cost 3/2, a Separatist official, where when played, if a friendly unit was defeated this phase, you can give a unit -1/1 for this phase. So pretty nice to make weaken something, but 1/1 isn't gonna do much. Like it's not too much. You could take out like a droid token, but isn't gonna do much otherwise. But you can still potentially finish something off that as I did trade to try and take something out. And you can play it after something's been defeated, and it's quite cheap enough to do so, but it's not optimal turn 1 play, but it does have good stats for turn 1 play, but you want to make use of his effects. Then we've got General Grievous being our legendary. So it's a 3-cost 4/4, very good stats, very good stats, and it's got ability where you ignore the aspect penalty on each lightsaber upgrade you play on this unit. So you don't have to worry about any aspects, you're just playing for the cost when you put any lightsaber on it. So you can have a deck full of lightsabers put on it. And if you do have a lot of lightsabers, it gets an extra benefit where on attack, if this unit has 4 more lightsaber upgrades attached to them, you defeat 4 enemy units. So if you've got 4 more lightsabers, which there's not many, they're really, none are really cheap, but there's a few that are cheap. Most of them are like 2 cost or 3 cost, but still that's still essentially 8 costs worth of cards to put on a 3 cost. He's paying 11 just to upgrade this. It does boost his stats as well, but then one little bit of removal, he's dead and he's gone. But then you can attack with him if you've got 4 more lightsabers on him, defeat up to 4 enemy units, which is pretty cool. Now this is going to be a card that's going to be very good in sealed and draft. Well, yeah, sealed and draft, because it's a very good unit for 3-cost 4/4 with very good stats for its cost. And if you get any lightsabers, which in the set there are going to be lightsabers, we'll see them. There are some lightsabers, and those can be put on him to just boost him up. The turn after you've played him, like if you play this as early as turn 2 and then put a lightsaber on afterwards, it's going to be very big, and you'd have to worry about the cost on it as well. It's a very nice legendary, at least for the sealed and draft. Then you got Morgan Elsbeth. This is a pretty nice one that kind of give you a bit more draw, and yeah, another way to kind of make use of some things, and to give you extra more draw, which the dark side seems to have some good ones, especially with Pershing. Because it's a 4-cost 3/6, which is very good stats for a 4-cost 3/6. Pretty nice. You change the stats up again, you got the same kind of Kanan, where it's a 4/5, but it's a 3/6, so a bit more bulk. There's also a Force unit as well. It's also got Restore 1, so one of the dark side of blue is getting more Restore, starting to get Restore, which is quite nice. So basically, Restore means when you attack, you heal that amount of damage based on numbers, so you heal 1 from your base when it attacks. And on attack, you may defeat another friendly unit, and if you do, draw cards. If you've got those units which would defeat you, create tokens and stuff, you can make use of that to kind of not really lose anything, but then still have a unit on board and just keep doing that to keep drawing cards, make use of those battle droid tokens as well. Make those cheap battle droids and then pop them so Morgan can keep more draws, which is pretty nice, pretty cool, and a very good rare as well. And we got the last 2 of the Villainy blue cards we've got. So we got the big spaceship Malevolence, 9-cost 7/7, and we got a fine edition being a 0-cost event as well. So Millimant's Grievous' secret weapon. It's a 9 cost 7/7 separatist spherical capital ship. He's got Exploit 4, which basically means you can defeat up to 4 units you control to reduce the cost of this by 2 for every unit you defeat. So if you defeat all 4, you reduce it by 8, make it at 1 cost, or you can make it up to either, you can make it at least a 7 cost, or a 5 cost, 3 cost, or 1 cost, depending on what you pop. This will restore 2, so when it swings, you're healing 2 from your base. And when played, give an enemy unit -4 power for this phase. You can make it a lot weaker, so it doesn't do as much damage, and then it can't attack for this phase. So you stop it from attacking at all, which is pretty cool, and you make it a lot weaker, so it isn't doing as much damage back when you're trying to attack into it and take it out. It'd be very, very nice, very helpful. Be very helpful for taking out certain units that are going to do a lot of damage, wreak a lot of damage, but you can make it so they can attack, and then they're a lot weaker, so it's easy to attack without too much of a fight back as well. And you've got Fine Edition. So these are both rare cards as well. These are both rares. So Fine Edition is a 0 cost event where if an enemy unit was defeated this phase, you can play an upgrade from your hand or from any player's discard pile ignoring its asset penalty. So you still got to pay the cost of the card. So that's why it's a 0 cost. So you still got to pay the cost of the upgrade, but you ignore its asset penalty. So if you take out one of your opponent's units and you have a lightsaber in the discard, you can basically just use this to pay the cost of that upgrade lightsaber and put it onto one of your units. Or play it onto a unit on the board, which is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Not sure how great it's going to be, but if we get ones where you get some very, very good upgrades, like lightsaber upgrades, that are very good in the meta, you can use this as a way to kind of defeat and kind of get that back to kind of make use of it during this phase. Like if your opponent's got General's Blade, you take something out, and you got some Jedi, you can always, I don't think there's not really Jedi on the dark side, but every unit's you basically grab them, put them back on one of your units to kind of power them up for free if you've got to focus on that. So it's going to be a pretty good tech card, but currently doesn't seem to be the best because it's in the aspect where Villainy, where there's not many well used or great upgrades you kind of want to grab, but there's any upgrade as well. So it's not just lightsaber upgrades, any upgrade. So that's quite cool. So it'd be good for the Boba mirror match kit to take your opponent's Boba and put their Boba's armor on your Boba, kind of thing like that. So that is the Vigilance cards for the dark side. Now we're going to look at the light side. So we got these two being that's it, Satine is what I was thinking. I know it's something similar, but yeah, Satine Crease, Commit to Peace, and Luminara. Yeah, Luminara. Yeah, Luminara, I think. Yeah, Luminara. Unduli, so soft-spoken master. These are our two heroic units. And first look at coordinate. So it kind of explains there, you can gain this keyword while you control 3 or more units. This unit gets +1. And basically it just says gain this unit while you control this many units, and grit, where this unit gets extra 1 power for each damage on it. So when you got 3 or more units, including herself on board, she gains grip, and basically just that means she gains an extra power for every damage on her. And she's got 9 health, so she can gain a load of power and be a hell of a strong leader. So Satine is a 4 cost 0/6 unit. So no power but 6 health. But it's a nice one to kind of go for the heroic side of Mill as well. Because their effect is for each unit, including enemy units, gain the following effect, which is action by tapping itself. Discard cards from an opponent's deck equal to half of this unit's remaining HP rounded up. And she's a legendary as well, so she's a legendary unit for milling, which I'm going to get to try and give it a try of that. Because it could be quite fun to kind of build a proper mill deck in, especially since you got Vigilance in blue as well. So you're going for a double blue mill deck, which could be nice. That could be something I definitely want to try out. But essentially, she makes so any unit gains the action to tap itself and discard cards from an opponent's deck equal to half the unit's remaining HP rounded up. So that's pretty cool. So that is pretty cool, and it's rounded up as well. So I think if you've got a 3 health unit, you tap and you round up to 3. Half that is you want to have, so you round up to 2, so you can mill 2 cards, and that is pretty cool. It's legendary, so I'm gonna definitely try to grab hold of this to try out a mill deck. And Luminara, she's a 7 cost 4 and 9, so a pretty high costing card, but not too bad on the stats, especially since she gains great grip, but you've got to have 2 other units, including herself, on board to trigger that. But then when played, you choose a base and heal 1 damage from it for each unit you control. So if you can kind of spam out units, you can heal quite a few things in your base. So it's pretty nice. So it can never kind of it's a never kind of a redemption, but it doesn't have like a specific amount you can heal off. And it doesn't put the damage onto herself, because that would be called like power up or grit. But then she's not guaranteed to have grit due to coordinate. So pretty cool unit. So like we're seeing more legendaries, which is nice. And I know this is a set which got some people who really like that kind of like phase of Star Wars with like Clone Wars and the prequels stuff. But you got other people that like the more like older sets, and like the set is just nice that have a theme to them, which is cool. Then we got we got the non dark side ones. We got 2 of the double blue cards as well. So we got the Duchess as champion for first one. We got as a 4-cost ground unit. We got Equalize being a 3-cost double blue event, and then we got Multi-Troop Transport being a 7-cost just blue ground unit. So Duchess as champion is a 4-cost 1/8, and while an opponent controls 3 or more units, this card gains Sentinel, meaning you have to attack through it. If you want, you have to attack this before going to your opponent's other units or their base. So a pretty nice one. So like a huge amount of health, but not much power, but can come down to Sentinel. But it depends on the amount of units your opponent controls. So good against wide aggro, I guess, but not the best outside of that. And we got Equalize here being a 3-cost event. This allows you to give a unit -2/2 for this phase, and then if you control fewer units than your unit's controller, you give another unit -2/2 for this phase. Remember, you can't give it to the same unit. It says another. When it says another, it means you have to choose a different one. So you can give -2/2 for one, and if you control the amount of units, give a different unit -2/2 for that phase. You can weaken things, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of like the same as what's it called, Make an Opening, except rather than heal your base by 2 as well, like the same cost, but it requires a 2nd blue, and rather than heal, like you minus like 2/2 just like every Ember does, but rather than heal 2 from your base, you give a 2nd unit -2/2 if you feel a certain condition of them having fewer units than they have. So I'm not sure this is one where like Make an Opening probably is still better because it's healing and doing the same thing as minusing 2/2 or something, but maybe that extra -2/2 or something could be handy. So not sure, but I probably prefer Make an Opening. We got Multi-Troop Transport. This is 7-cost 3/6. This will never one got exploit. It kind of explains it here. While playing this card, you can defeat up to 2 units you control, and this card costs 2 less for each unit defeated this way. So you can either defeat no units and it costs 7, defeat 1 unit it costs 5, or defeat 2 units it costs 3, which is quite cool. And then on attack, you can create a battle droid token. So it's a pretty nice one where you can just literally keep attacking, create battle droid tokens, just spam those out. So that can be very nice with Elsbeth, where you can attack with this, create a battle droid token, and use Elsbeth to attack, pop the token, and draw a card. So pretty nice there. And like I said, it's one of those ones where it's where exploit, if the unit's got exploit on it, it normally has the same stats if it would be for the cheapest cost. So a 3-cost 3/6 is pretty good, or a 5-cost 3/6 is pretty good, but 7-cost 3/6 is not great. But so like it's got this kind of stats for when it's played cheaper. Right. So we'll start off with the green cards. We've got the 2. I think it's just the 2. Yeah, just the 2 Villainy command units we've got for this one. So we've got Poggle the Lesser being a 2-cost ground unit, and we've got Admiral Trench being a 7-cost ground unit. So these are both separatist officials. So you've got Poggle here being a 2-cost 1/4, which has the effect for when you play another unit, you may exhaust this unit, and if you do create a battle droid token. So that's very nice for the exploit focused decks, because then you just have this turn 1, and for turn 2 you play a unit, tap this to create a battle droid token, and you keep making this token so you can basically exploit more often and bring out things that are like quite high costing a lot cheaper, which is really cool, and quite a decent amount of stats with being a 1/4, which is very good. Then you add and also a rare, so it's a very good rare to pick up as well, just like we saw with things like Pershing as well, being very nice 2-cost rares. Then you got Admiral Trent, so this is a 7-cost 5/5, but then it's got exploit 1, so by defeating one other unit, by defeating one unit when you get a player's card, reduce it by 2, so you make this a 5-cost 5/5, which is pretty decent stats. Like a 7-cost 5/5 is not great, but a 5-cost 5/5 is pretty nice. And also got when played, you return up to 3 units that were defeated this phase from your discard pile to your hand. So you can kind of use this to kind of get back units. But then if you pair this with Dooku, who can like kind of give exploit, or when it's deployed, like swing to give, make something the next thing you play, or the next separatist thing you play, have exploit 3. I think exploit can rack up as well, so you can make this exploit 4, where you can then defeat 3 units and pay 1 for this to then get back those 3 units you defeated. But pretty nice. So it allows you to get back cards that defeat this phase, and if your opponent, like say, super laser, like you play this in the late game where your opponent super laser blasts you and you stick out all your units, you can just play this for 7 and get those 3 units back after they just wiped it, so you can play them back out again. So not too bad, but yeah, it's more one of those ones that could be very good in situations, but not great in others. So then next we have the heroic ones, and these are the 4 heroic cards we've got in this for green. And we've got Admiral Yularen being a free cost ground unit. We got Ayla Secura for a 5 cost ground unit, Jedi, and a legendary as well. We got the Republic Defense Carrier being 11 cost, so both the dark and the light side have a 11 cost space unit in green, but this one doesn't have as good stats as the dark side one. And then we have the event Synchronized Strike, which is a tactic event and a 2 cost one. So Admiral Yularen's pretty nice one, where it's a 3 cost 2/5, pretty good stats, pretty like 1 extra power off being the standard for free cost. Free cost at the moment. But it does come down with Restore. It's also a Republic official. It comes down with Restore, so when it swings, you heal 1 damage per base, and makes all ever friendly heroic units get an extra 1 extra health, so it makes them more bulky. So you have this with if you have this with Rex, then all your clone super tokens are coming down as 2/4s, which is pretty nice for tokens. And you got Ayla Secura, Master of the Blade. She is a 5 cost 6/5, so pretty good stats for a unit. She's a Force Jedi in Republic, and she's got coordinates. So if you have 3 or more units, including herself on board, she gains the effect of on attack, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to this unit for this attack. So it's pretty nice. Like if you've got 2 other units on board, essentially she can swing at a unit, deal 6 damage to it, but then take nothing back in like when it deals damage back. So it's almost like she's got first strike, but she's just not taking a damage. So that's really, really cool. So that's a really nice one. Pretty nice legendary. But in coordinate, it's just one of those ones where it's like if your opponent controls your board and stops you from keeping 3 on board, you're not gonna have you're not really gonna make use of it that often, which doesn't seem to be the best keyword, but it seems more and less more like I think in each set you get like a keyword or something that's more made for draft, or the other one is made more for like competitive play. Like exploit seems like a good one for like competitive play, whereas coordinate seems to be a good one for like draft and sealed. Then you got the Republic Defense Carrier, so 11 cost 6 and 7, so it was a very, very poor stats to its cost. But this unit, but it's got the effect where this unit costs 1 less to play for each unit controlled by the opponent who controls the most units. And it also has Sentinel as well, so your opponent has to go for it before they can go to any other unit in your essentially in your space arena. But you can place less. If you got the most units, you can place a lot less. But then without that, as 11 cost 6/7, it's very poor compared to what the like dark side have for the like big space units. And then we have Synchronized Strike. So it's a 2 cost event that is essentially Admiral Akbar, but in an event form, because its effect is to deal damage to an enemy unit equal to the number of units you control in its arena. So it's essentially Admiral Akbar's effect in a cheaper event, a 2 cost event, but you don't apply a body, you just apply it a little bit cheaper. So that's cool, but I'd probably rather play Admiral Akbar. Like even if I'm paying 1 extra, I can then play out a unit, and it's also a unit that provides me restore, and so just something on the board as well. So we've got some more green cards, but that's all for the dark side and light side. Now we've got the normal green cards. So we've got the these 3 command cards being a 1 cost ground unit obedient vanguard, a 3 cost event space unit being Republic Arc 170, and then another space unit being a 4 cost subjugating Starfighter. So Republic Arc is just a vanilla card, just 3 cost 3/4 stats, pretty nice. Obedient Vanguard is a 1-cost 1/1 Separatist Droid Trooper, which has Raid 1, so when it attacks, it deals an extra 1 damage when it attacks. But if it's attacking, it's just 1/1. And when defeated, you can give a Trooper unit plus 2/2 for this phase, and Troopers are on all the droid tokens and the clone trooper tokens, the token units are troopers, and there's a fair few other units that are troopers as well. So very focused on that trooper text, but still you got quite a few cards that can be trooper. You can have never droid token and give that 2/2 for this phase as well, which is pretty cool. And then you got subjugating Starfire as well, and also when defeated works well with exploit because you can defeat it for exploit, and then give something. Use the trigger to when defeated them with that to give a trooper unit minus 2/2. Plus 2/2. And you got subjugating Starfire. So it's a 4-cost 3/3, has ambush. You can attack, ready and attack a unit, the same enemy unit, the same turn it's played. And when played, if you have the initiative, you can also create a battle droid token. So that's quite cool. So if you've got the initiative, play this out, ambush, and create a battle droid token, which is really, really cool. So that's those ones. Then we got the other ones being the more light side of it. So we've got Clone Commander Cody being another clone card to kind of go alongside Rex, and it's a 5-cost 4/4. So not the best stats for a 5-cost, but not too bad. The same kind of ones as Agent Callus as well, which is a pretty good unit, but that's more because he had a ambush and a unit kind of effect's going to give you draw. But Clone Commander Cody comes in with Overwhelm. He's also got a coordinate keyword, where if you control another 2 units along with himself, each ever friendly unit gets an extra plus 1/1. So you turn Rex, the Rex leader into, a a 3/7, and also they gain all your other units gain Overwhelm. So they get an extra 1/1 and Overwhelm. So it means with Rex and Cody on board, your clone tokens are then 3/4s. Yeah, 3/4s, which is pretty good for a clone like this clone clone tokens. So you can protect Cody and Rex, keep them those on the board. Every time you get in clone trooper tokens, you can just basically get like 3/4s, which is pretty cool, and making all your units, whilst anything else you play gets boosted by this. And then same with so you have everything get an extra 2 health, and then from 1 extra power from Cody. It's pretty nice little combo. And you got Nameless Valor being a 1-cost upgrade, where it has to attach to a token unit. So it just says attached to a token unit. I mean, yes, you can do that. You can't. I think that means you can't attach to anything else. You have to attach it to a clone token unit, and the attached unit gains Overwhelm. So it basically means when it defeats a unit, you do X damage to your opponent's base, and it gives basically his 1-cost 2/2 that you give to a token unit. So it could be either the battle droid token or a clone token, because it doesn't specify a different one, and it's not a heroic or villainy aspect. So you can use this for either side as long as it's a token unit. Then you got Encouraging Leadership, being a 3-cost event that allows you to give each friendly unit plus 1/1 for this phase. If you've got a wide board, you can just boost up a little bit more. But it depends. If you don't have a wide, this is very good for a wide board. Given just a 1/1 stack could be a difference between like finish the game or just not finishing the game. But if you don't have a wide board, this is not a very good event to give 1/1 to. But it's more of a draft card by the looks of it. But that is all the command cards. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to aggression and see what we've got for aggression in this set now. So, like we've done, we're going to start off with the dark side of the aggression cards, and the 2 we've got for the aggression side, for the dark side of aggression, is Count Dooku, being our 8-cost event, 8-cost ground unit, and then the 2-cost event Self-Destruct. So Count Dooku is a pretty cool one. So he's Fallen Jedi. He's an 8-cost 6/6 with exploit 2, so you can defeat up to 2 units to either make him cost either a 6-cost or a 4-cost, depending on how many units you defeat. He also comes around with Overwhelm, so piercing damage essentially. And then he's got an effect, or when played, for each unit you exploited while playing this card, you may deal damage to an enemy unit equal to the power of the exploited unit. So depending on how strong the exploited unit is, so if you defeat a unit only has 1 power, you get to do 1 damage to something. But if you exploit something that had like 6 powers, for say, you get to do 6 damage to a unit. And it's basically you can have the 2 units or 1 depending on how many you exploited. So he's more focused on like making your use exploit for this to kind of make use of it, because otherwise you're exploiting out if you're not exploiting that, you play it 8 for a 6/6, which would rather play Palpatine instead. But this one can be brought out by being a potentially 4-cost 6/6 that comes down and does a fair bit of damage to a unit or 2 units. So that's pretty cool, but not amazing, but it is pretty cool. And then self-destruct being a 2-cost event where you can defeat a friendly unit, and if you do defeat, deal 4 damage to your unit. So this is kind of like a cheaper open fire. So it costs 1 less to open fire, but you've got to defeat one of your own units, which could do well since you've got units that, when defeated, create things like tokens. But 4 damage isn't as great, because even without open fire, 4 damage is a little bit off, because you've got some units now being like the new standard for 3 costs are like 3 5s, and 4 damage is not enough to take it out. So yeah, it's kind of fall short a little bit, and it's depending if you like want to defeat a unit. If you have a unit you can defeat again, it gets a benefit of like either replace itself with a battle draw token or something like that. Could be cool, but other than that, you don't really want to defeat your unit just to deal 4 damage, not even kill anything, which is not great. And then we got to some of the heroic cards. We got 4 heroic cards for aggression. So we got Soldier of the 501st, being a 1-cost 1/3 unit. Has raid 1, so that's pretty cool. And then you got Anakin's Interceptor being a 2-cost space unit. That is a 2/3. But then if your base has 15 or more damage on it, it gains an extra 2 power, being a 4/3. So you've got a lot of damage. There's also a Jedi spaceship as well. And then we got Mace Windu's lightsaber. So we got another new lightsaber in this set, being Mace Windu's, an upgrade, a 2-cost upgrade. It gives an extra 2/2 to a unit, and you can attach it to any non-vehicle unit. But then when played, if the attached unit is Mace Windu, you get to draw 2 cards. So you can put that either on his unit or his leader when deployed, and just drawing 2 cards. It's quite nice, but it's not amazing. And like drawing cards isn't amazing in the game, but it does give you some options. But then he's a quite late deploying leader. It could be useful, but then giving it extra 2/2, because I think his stats were, I think it's 4/8. His stats, so putting up to a 6/10 could be pretty nice as well, and drawing 2 cards. And then you got Bold Resistance being a 3-cost event, where you choose up to 3 units that share the same trait, and each of these units get extra 2 power for this phase. So pretty cool. It's almost like the event, the little red event that gives all your units raid 2 for the turn. But then you got to choose up to 3 units that share the same trait and give them extra 2 power. But then for double red, you can give everything raid 2, so it doesn't have to worry about having the same traits. So it's kind of like both have their benefits, but they both cost the same in a 3-cost event as well. So if you focus on like a single trait, like you play in a clone deck and have a load of clones, you can give all of them, like, okay, these 3 have clones, they're clone traits, so they all gain extra 2 power for this phase, which would be quite cool. So those are the heroic side aggression. We got the other aggression cards. So we've got the fruit. We got shown all 3 of. Because I think it's going to be only just 3. All 3 of the double red cards. So we've got 1-cost Mr. Bones ground unit, the 2-cost upgrade twice the pride, and then the 6-cost event unlimited power, which is another force event. And for this force event, it's 1 unlimited power, is a legendary event as well. So we get because like double red didn't get a legendary card in the set 2, but it's got 1 for set 3. So you got Mr. Bones being a 1-cost double red ground unit, a 3/1, just like we got with the Death Star Stormtrooper. But he's got an on-attack effect, where if you have no cards in your hand, you may deal 3 damage to a ground unit. And it's a rare as well, a pretty nice rare. I think, imagine people look at this, I think the best thing to go for already is Kylo, because he's all about an effect about having no hand, discarding cards, so he's like stronger when he deploys. And also you can use that Kylo's effect to kind of ditch a card to boost him up, to make him potentially give him 2 more power, make him a 5/1. And then when he swings, still 3 damage to a unit. Pretty cool. So it's like more units like this, or even for like, even with a thing like IG-88, having like more cheap units that are very strong like this, like maybe fragile but very strong, push a 3 power and very cheap, is a very good thing to have for those kind of leaders. So pretty nice to have that. Twice the Pride is a 2-cost upgrade that gives an extra 4 power, no health to unit, but then when played, you deal 2 damage to attached unit, which if it's a unit that has grit, that's pretty nice. You're giving it a 4+ power boost, and also doing 2 damage to increase grit as well. So that gives, like, essentially, if you put this on a grit unit, you give an extra 6 power because you're doing 2 damage power of grit, and then 4 power from this, which is very, very cool. Very, very cool. And you got unlimited power as well. So 6-cost event, where this allows you to deal 4 damage to a unit, 3 damage to a second unit, 3 damage to a third unit, and 1 damage to a fourth unit, and this is all dealt simultaneously. So I think with this, it has to be all different units. So you deal to 4 different units, not just one unit, not just one unit. You can just go right and go pay 6 to do 10 damage to it. That'd be pretty cool if you could. But I think it is to has to be all 4 units. But I'll get clarification soon. But I'm just like from the text, I just assuming that is all to 4 different units. But that is a double red card. It's a pretty nice one. Like double red seems to be like the one that the like double aspect that isn't as great with its cards, but it's slowly building up to be pretty nice with some more cards, which is quite cool. So we got some more red cards. We've got the next lot being these three, being Clone Heavy Gunner, being a 2-cost ground unit. That has 1/3 with Coordinate. So if you have 2 other units include itself on the board, this unit gets extra 2 power. So pretty nice, not amazing, but Coordinate is like I think like I've said, I think it's more of a drafting card or a sealed card or a sealed keyword rather than like exploit, where it's like more of a more useful competitive play one. Then we got Denup's Loyalist being a 2-cost ground unit. It's a 2/3 but has Overwhelm, so you basically do piercing damage. And you got Kit Fisto being a 6-cost ground unit, a 7/6, so pretty good stats. Has Saboteur as well, so it could ignore Sentinel and defeat any upgrades on a unit. And it's got another one with Coordinate, so if you have 2 other units include itself, on attack you can deal 3 damage to a ground unit. So it's pretty nice. And a pretty nice rare as well. Then the last bit of aggression we've got for this set is these 2 cards, being a 2-cost upgrade Clone Cohort, being a 2-cost upgrade. It gives no boost to a unit, but gives the unit detached unit gains raid 2, and when defeated, create a clone trooper token. So you basically give a unit raid 2, so which basically when it swings, it doesn't gain the 2 power, but when it attacks, it swings, it does an extra 2 power, 2 damage when it swings, and then if the unit is taken out, you get a clone trooper to kind of replace it. So pretty cool, pretty nice there. And then Bloodsport being a 3-cost event that deals 2 damage to each ground unit. So it's kind of like a cheaper bombing run, but you don't get to choose the arena. It has to be a ground unit, and it does 2 less damage. So you're paying 2 less, but doing 1 less damage to each, and then focusing on just one arena being the ground arena. Still a pretty nice card, pretty cool one, and goes really well what Red wants to do and just throwing out damage willy-nilly. So that's all the that is all of the aggression cards. Now we're going to move on to Cunning and see what Cunning has to offer for this set. So starting off once again with the Cunning cards going in the dark side, we've got these 3. And these are the 3 dark side cards we've got for Cunning. So you've got Elite P38 Starflyer, being a 3-cost space unit. That's a 3/2 that when played or when defeated, you can deal 1 damage to a unit. So that's pretty nice. It's a pretty good card. That's a pretty useful one. And you've got Sandhill here, being a 6-cost ground unit. That is a 3/7 Separatist official, has exploit 3. So you can defeat up to 3 units you control, and this kind of costs 2 less for each one. So you can potentially play it for 0. If you defeat 3 units, you can play it for 0, and reduce the cost down to 0 to play out for 3, which is pretty nice. And then on attack, for each friendly unit that was defeated this phase, you ready a friendly resource. So if you can kind of give it ambush as well, you can then go ahead and bring it in, play it for 3, swing for 3 damage, and then on attack, because you defeated 3 units, basically untap 3 resources, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty cool. And he's chairman of the banking clan. So it's a pretty interesting card. And it can be pretty useful, and it's pretty nice and rare as well. Then you got the 4-cost event on the doorstep. So this is a 4-cost event that allows you to create 3 battle droid tokens and ready them. So essentially pay for 3 resources to create 3 battle droid tokens. Have them ready so you can attack with each of them, do 3 damage, and then exploit them off. And that's really good, especially with like Sandhill. You can, in combination with Sandhill, that's pretty nice because you can play on your doorstep, like pay 4 to create 3 battle droid tokens, swing each of them to 3 damage to your opponent's base, and exploit them all to play out Sandhill for 0, which is quite cool. So you pay 4 to play Sandhill for cheaper, but it costs 2 cards in your hand, which is not too bad. So that's a pretty cool combo. I do like that. It's going to be interesting to see like all the cards we get for like the abuse exploit and use exploit and have exploit, and then Dooku being one that can kind of like make any separatists in your hand like the next separatist you play when it's deployed have like exploit free to play it like a lot cheaper, which is cool. And I think there are some separatists in other sets, not just this set as well, like some that do have the tags. So it'd be interesting to see all the separatists we've got to kind of go with Dooku. But now we're going to move on to the heroic cards. So we've got the 3 of the Cunning heroic cards. So we got not the greatest quality for some of them. We've got Ahsoka here is the one of the legendaries for Cunning. So you've got Wolfpack Escort, which is a 1-cost space unit. A 2/1 that when played you may return a friendly non-leader, non-vehicle unit to his owner's hand. So one of those ones that kind of bounce you back cards. And being a 1-cost is very good to just like bounce by something so you can replay it out again to kind of make use of those one played effects to kind of get it back out again, which is pretty cool. So I do like with the Cunning stuff, but you like reuse one played effects to kind of make use of things that kind of scar cards like hand control or like just one played effects were really cool. And we got Padme Amidala in a unit, being a 2-cost unit. That's a 1/4, but with coordinate. So if you've got 2 other units on attack, you give an enemy unit -3 power for that phase. So not too bad, pretty nice. But then just coordinate doesn't seem to be the greatest skill at the moment unless we can keep hold of units on board. And then we've got a 3-cost Ahsoka. So there's a 3-cost Ahsoka being a 3-cost 3/4. So kind of not the standard for it, but like almost near it. A 3-cost 3/4 is pretty nice. And while you control fewer units than your opponent, including itself, this unit gains ambush. So I think in this case, your opponent would have to have 2 units and you play out this. So yeah, you have to literally, when playing this, they have to have at least 1 more unit, including 1 more unit than you after you've played Ahsoka to kind of gain ambush. And she's got the action ability where you can pay 2 to return this unit and each upgrade on her to his owner's hands. So if you can, it's a nice way to kind of like take a lot of damage, almost there, just bounce it back to hand, so I can play it back out again, and also keep all the upgrades so I can play it back down again as well. Because I think she does have her own upgrade, which we'll see in like not too soon, not too long. We'll see that soon enough. Then we got the ever 2 heroic cards for Cunning as well. We got another Ness being a 7-cost 5/7, and we got Aid from the Innocent being a 5-cost event. So Ness is a 7-cost 5/7 underworld card with Saboteur, 16 North Sentinel, and also defeat shields on a unit. And when she's played or when she attacks, you can return a enemy non-leader unit that has less power than this unit to its owner's hand. That's a pretty good rare. It's a very nice rare, especially for the yellow hand. A very nice card to have with that. And we got Aid for the Innocent being a 5-cost event, which allows you to search the top 10 cards of your deck for 2 non-unit or heroic non-unit cards and discard them. So you put any other cards at the bottom of your owner's deck, on bottom of your deck in a random order. And then for this phase, you can play the discarded cards, and they cost 2 less. So I think there are some units there. I'm not going to go over all of them, but there are some nice like events you can potentially hit from this. Like if you've got units on board, you can potentially hit Spark of Hope. So if one of your units is defeated, you can use that for free from your discard to then ramp a card that was ramp a unit was defeated this phase to your resources. You have a Spark of Rebellion. Being a 2-cost unit, you can basically 2-cost events are you can use lucky opponent's hand to discard a card from it. So be able to hit that 2 of those off the top 5. Be able to like knock 2 cards at your opponent's hand. It is costing most of your turn, but could be useful. You can even hit things like Carablast as well to basically throw damage around from one of your units to another. There are some pretty nice ones, even though like you kind of do want to hit the 2 or less ones, so you don't have to play anything else because you might go. I don't think you have many resources unless you're very late in the game for this. But there are some pretty nice 2 cost or less events you can hit off this, or even the ones that are a little bit more expensive. Like you can potentially, if you got extra resources open after this, you can potentially hit from it 2. If you're going for red with this, you can potentially hit 2 4 calls, I believe in, and then put an extra 2 to basically just play 2 of those from the top of your deck. Just in case you haven't seen them, you can just hit them from the top 10, discard them, and then pay an extra 2 like 1 for each, to then use them from your discard. That's pretty cool. And these are both rares as well. Like, there's not Aid from the Infinite, it's not the best, but there are some pretty nice guys who can do it. And be interesting to see how, like if it sees play really. So those are the heroic ones. Then we go into the ever yellow ones. We've got the two of the double yellow cards. We've got Jar Jar Binks being an amazing one, being a 2-cost 2/3 gun, and it's got on attack. You deal 2 damage to a random unit or base. I think the whole thing of it is not just you can either choose a unit or a base. It's a random. So basically just you can essentially just pick like roll a die equal to the number of cards on board. Like if you've got 3 cards on board, like 2 units, if you don't have 2 units in a base, you can basically do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and roll, and depending what the number comes out, hit that. But it's random, either hit a unit or a base. If you put it as any unit on board, then it's going to always hit the base because there's not be nothing else to hit other than the base. That's a really cool unit. I really like that. I'm definitely going to play in that in any of my any double cunning card deck I play. You also got Chancellor Palpatine as a 4-cost double cunning card with a 2/6, and it's all around tokens because each token unit you create and it's play ready is one of his effects. And then on attack, if a unit left play this phase, you create a clone trooper token. So he's a never legendary as well, so a never legendary double cunning card we've got. So it's a pretty cool, just when you got this out, if anything leaves play. If a unit, so it could be your opponent's unit, leaves player's phase, you create a clone trooper token, and any token you play and it's ready, so you can attack straight away, which is pretty nice. So pretty cool on that aspect. I'm not sure you're gonna make many tokens in yellow, but yeah, just you don't need to because you can use him to make clone trooper tokens as well. And then you got independent centers here, being here just not a double cunning one, but a cunning card being a 1-cost 0/4 that has an action ability where you pay 2 and tap it. That is also a unit with 4 less power. So the thing with this is you can kind of do that with if you're in the dark side, you can use that with Cartel Spacer. But yeah, this seems to be great, but it could be a good draft card. And then we got some more of the we got some more cunning cards. We got another few because we haven't seen many cunning cards until now. We've got these ones being B1 Security Key, being a 2-cost ground unit. It's a free one that has Sentinel, so it means your opponent has to go for this before attacking your base or other units in the same arena. We got Geonosis Patrol Fire, being a 5-cost space unit, being a free 2, but it exploits 2, so you can potentially defeat up to 2 other units you control, which is like 2 for each. So you can either make this a 5-cost but not exploit anything, exploit 1 to make it a 3-cost, or exploit 2 cards to make it a 1-cost 3/2, and in when played, you can return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand, be yours or your opponent's, which is pretty nice. But like I said, you got these high-costing units that have stats of if they were lower costing because they have exploit, and you're most likely going to exploit them to get the benefit of whatever you're exploiting and to bring it out cheaper. And then we have Tri-Droid Suppressor being a 7-cost 4/7, which is pretty good stats for a 7-cost, but it could be even better if they were, say, a 3-cost because it's got exploit 2. I mean, you can exploit a certain amount of units, so you can either exploit 2 to make it a 3-cost, exploit 1 to make it a 5-cost, or just play it for 7. And when he's played, you can exhaust any enemy ground unit, so it's pretty nice there. To exploit anything, just when played that, and then just have decent stats, but nothing else more than just a when played. But we have everyone, so we have these last 4 of the cunning cards. We've got Droid Cohort being a 1-cost upgrade, so like how we had an upgrade for the I don't know. I think we might have an upgrade for the clones. We got this upgrade. We had the upgrade that creates Battle Droid Clone Trooper token when defeated. We got the Droid Cohort being a 1-cost upgrade. It gives a 1/1 to boost the unit, and then when defeated, you create a Battle Droid token. So it's pretty not too bad. And then you've got the In Pursuit here, being a 0-cost event that allows you to exhaust a friendly unit, and if you do exhaust an enemy unit, so tap yours or tap theirs. We got 1-cost event, which is very nice. I do like this one. I'm looking forward to trying out this in some of my cunning decks. So Political Pressure being a 1-cost event, and it allows you to choose an opponent. They may discard a random card from their hand, and if they don't, you get 2 Battle Droid tokens. But they do, they discard it. You either make them discard a card, which can be earned as turn 1, and a random card. So if we card they either don't want lost, or don't care if they lose, but it's just a 1-cost event allowed to make them either discard or gain 2 Battle Droid tokens, either cheap token production or 1-cost discard from their hand. That's pretty cool. And then you got the legendary event, legendary 3-cost event, being now there are 2 of them, being a nice little trick. Pretty cool to go with Jabba. And its effect is if you control exactly 1 unit, you can play a non-vehicle unit from your hand that shares a trait with the unit you control, and it costs 5 less. So essentially, you can either pay 3 or 2 if you're playing Java and have it on board to and even search it to play a card that costs 5 or less that has the same trait as the card. You're going to have 1 unit on play, so if you've got 1 unit, you can play base this, pay something 5 costs or less. So it basically reduces the cost of whatever you're playing by 2. So yeah, essentially, because you're paying 3 for it, you're playing the card for 2 cheaper than its actual cost. Because you're still, well, technically, yeah, 2 cheaper than its actual cost because you're paying 3. So if something costs 8, you're paying 3 for this. It costs 5 less, so it costs extra 2 less. So you're paying for like 8 costs for 3, or technically for 6 rather than 8, which is pretty cool. As long as it's got the same trait. Like it seems like a pretty nice one to use. Be looking forward to seeing like how use this can get. But it does seem like a pretty cool event. Yeah, pretty cool legendary event. It's pretty nice cards for Cunning. So that is all the Cunning cards. I'm going to go into the Villainy cards and the Villainy cards first. So Villainy cards and the Heroic cards, and also no Aspect cards. So we put them all together. So for the Villainy cards, these are the three. What's the first three we got? We got 6 Villainy cards. We got our Droid Starfighter, our Super Battle Droid, and our Battle Droid Legion. So we got the 1 cost space unit here. That's a 1/2. That's Saboteur. It's pretty good. Separatist Droid. You got the Super Battle Droid token, which is a 3 cost 4/3. Just a vanilla 3 cost 4/3. We got the same on. So yeah, same thing kind of on Echo Base Defender, but that had Sentinel. But this is like a Separatist Droid and a Trooper. And you got the 9 cost Battle Droid Legion, which is a ground unit. And it's a 6/5, so not the best stats for a 9 cost, but it's got Exploit 2. So if you defeat out 2 other units, you can bring this out as a 5 cost 6/5, and then when defeated, you create 3 Battle Droid tokens. So that's pretty cool. So you can exploit this off later on after a swing with it to then get 3 Battle Droid tokens. But it's not too bad. Pretty nice one. Like high cost unit, but then if you do exploit 2 other cards, you bring it out for a 5 cost 6/5, and then when it is defeated, either by crashing into something, you get 3 Battle Droid tokens to then exploit more, which is pretty cool. And any other cards we've got the starter deck cards, I think, in it. I think the only ones we didn't see are just Grievous's Willbike, and which is here, and another one which we'll see in a sec. So Grievous's Willbike is a 4 cost upgrade, gives a 3/3 to the unit it's attached to. It can be attached to a non-vehicle unit. The attached unit gains overarm, and then while playing this upgrade on General Grievous, you reduce the cost by 2 to play. So starting deck cards. It goes well with the leader in the star deck, being Grievous. Being able to pay for 2 to upgrade him by 3/3, which is pretty nice to give him overwhelm as well. And then it technically makes him a vehicle because then it's I don't know if the trait gains a trait vehicle with these traits on the unit upgrades, or just because it's just a vehicle you attach it to. And then we've got the Droid Deployment, a 2 cost event that allows you to create 2 Battle Droid tokens. So just simply turn 1, create 2 Battle Droid tokens to next turn. So it's good turn 1 play. Create 2 Battle Droid tokens, so next turn you can exploit. Basically do exploit 2 that makes something cost 4 less if it's got exploit on it, which is pretty nice. And then you've got Merciless Contest as well here. So each leader here chooses a non-leader unit they control and defeat those units. So it's like a never but this is like a extra Power Dark Side. That's the one I'm trying to think of. It's Power Dark Side. This is a Power Dark Side that can't hit leaders. With Power Dark Side, Power Dark Side basically makes it so your opponent chooses a unit they control and defeat it, which can not defeat leaders. But this one doesn't affect leaders and makes both players choose. So you can both defeat a unit, but then most likely you can play this in control decks where then you don't have a unit, so you force your opponent to defeat a unit where you don't. So it's like an extra card to help with those Villainy control decks as like more cheap removal being a 3 cost event, especially since if you're playing you do have the I Am Your Father being a card back like at least for set 1 I remember being a control like a removal card you have for the dark side, but you had the option to not lose a card, but then gain 3 cards. Like it's either you draw 3 cards, your opponent loses their unit. Take 7 damage to unit, which most of the time was defeating the unit. This one just straight up defeats it. Doesn't give them the option to not defeat the unit, you just defeat it, which is pretty cool. So a nice, good addition to control decks. So that's the Villainy cards. Then we go on to Heroism. So we do have a fair few Heroism. So we've got these ones being Phase 1 Clone Trooper, Phase 2 Clone Trooper, and then the ETA 2 Light Inceptor. So Phase 1 Clone Trooper is just a 2-cost free 2 Republic Clone Trooper, so vanilla card. You got Phase 2 Clone Trooper is a 3-cost free 2 that has Ambush, so same stats, cost 1 less but has Ambush and the same stats, well, same traits, sorry. And then with the same traits, well, similar traits being Republic Vehicle Fighter, you got the 5-cost ETA 2 Light Inceptor, being a free 4 that has Restore 2. So, pretty nice one for Draft and Sealed. And then the other Heroism cards we got is the ATTE Vanguard, being an 8-cost 6/9. So, Heroism's version of the Reinforcement Walker, that's it. Heroism has their own Reinforcement Walker that doesn't immediately heal straight away or gain new cards, but then is similar to it in the same cost as stats. But it's also Republic, and it's got Restore 3, so when it swings you heal 3, so it's going to always heal rather than just gain new cards. And you can play it in any heroic deck, no matter what the aspect is. If it's playing Aggression, Villainy, Vigilance, things like that. And then if it's defeated, you create 2 Clone Trooper tokens, which is a pretty good trade-off for if it is eventually taken out. And then here you have the other starter deck card we didn't see from the starter decks, being Ahsoka's lightsaber. So both leaders in the starter deck have an upgrade, whereas like Grievous has his bike, Ahsoka has her Padawan lightsaber. So it's a 1-cost upgrade, gives you extra 2 power, and then you can attach it to a non-vehicle unit. And when played, if the attached unit is Ahsoka, you may attack with a unit. So if you attach on anything else, it's a 1-cost upgrade. It gives 2 power to a unit. But if it's on Ahsoka, you can choose any unit. You can any unit to attack, allow it to attack. So yeah, you may attack with a unit. So yeah, one of your units, not one of your opponent's units. But yeah, so you can put on Ahsoka and attack with a different unit. Either put on Ahsoka to attack with Ahsoka, or after attacking with Ahsoka, put on Ahsoka so you can attack with a different unit while also powering up her. So that's pretty cool there. And then we got the other two being Sword and Shield Remover, being a 2-cost event that allows you to give, well, that basically not allows you to give, but gives you raid 1 to any of your friendly trooper units, and then gives Sentinel to any of your friendly Jedi units. So have your Jedis gain Sentinel to protect your troopers, and your troopers have raid 1, so they're hitting a little bit harder for this phase. And then drop in, so more expensive version of the, yeah, essentially like the event, these events like drop in and the one that creates battle tokens, they have the cost is equal to the stats of the card. Like you create, the other one is a 2-cost that creates 2 battle droid tokens, but their stats are 1/1, so you got 2-cost unit that gets you 2/2 on the stats of units. So 2-cost 2/2 stats, whereas this 4-cost unit event drop in creates 2 clone trooper tokens, and clone troopers are 2/2s, so you essentially pay 4 to create 4/4 in worth of units, being 2-cost 2/2s. Whatever one is 2-cost creates 2 1/1s. So it's pretty cool. And the last lot of cards we've got revealed today are the no aspect cards, and those are aspectless cards, which are the 4-cost ground unit of Brain Invaders and the 2-cost event private manufacturing. So we've got the Brain Invaders as a 4-cost event, 4-cost ground unit. There's a 2/4 that whose effect makes each leader lose all abilities except for epic actions, and they can't gain abilities. So kind of this is a nice little, I think the first rare aspectless card that shuts off all abilities from all leaders. So all leaders have no abilities to kick anything, and they only have the epic action to deploy essentially. So that's pretty cool, pretty nice rare there, an aspectless card. I think they had the first aspectless card we've had, that's a rare. And then we've got private manufacturing in a 2-cost event that allows you to draw 2 cards, and if you control no token units, you have to put 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck in any order. So if your deck makes token units, or can make token units, you can use it as basically a 2-cost draw 2, like almost like a pot of greed, which is pretty cool. So this is if your deck has like a token production, you can use this to kind of get yourself a few draws as well, which is pretty nice. So it's going to be a way to kind of, with previous to like get out clones using the dark side of clones, and then use this to kind of be able to ping damage on stuff, while also giving yourself tokens for like exploiting stuff like that. So pretty cool. This could be a way to kind of draw cards with previous. to kind of get that trigger of yeah, having a load of cards in hand for when he's deployed, and also make use of the front side as well. So that's it for today. That is it for the reveals. We got a lot of reveals there, like a lot of reveals. This has gone for quite long, but let me know how you feel about each of these, because this is a lot of reveals and they're pretty nice ones. A lot of good leaders. What leaders are you looking forward to play? What base are you looking to use? What cards do you think are like great or not great? Let me know in the description comments down below. But that is it for me today. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next one. Bye for now.